Thank you, Tricia. Good evening, everybody. Coming up next on Action News at 6, what happens to children when their parents are arrested in a drug bust like this? Tonight, an exclusive report on problems at one local jail.
Also ahead, this woman claims a private health care company cost county taxpayers millions of dollars.
Plus, new help is on the way for children like these, children born addicted to drugs.
In sports, Tony Hernandez has the last-minute World Series preps.
And Kevin is outdoors at one of the Southland's lushest beauty spots. All this and more coming up next.
It was Leo McCarthy who recommended that Rose Bird be put on the California Supreme Court. Leo McCarthy voted for lighter sentences, even for repeat criminal offenders, twice. And Leo McCarthy voted in the legislature to actually reduce the penalty for the crime of rape. What Leo McCarthy does helps keep criminals in our neighborhoods and not here where they belong.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush.
The more you learn about how George Bush got this far, that he was once the youngest combat pilot in the Navy, that he started a business and met a payroll for years before representing us in Congress, the UN, and China, and the more you learn about his years as vice president, the more you realize that perhaps no one in this century is better qualified to be president of the United States.
So help you God, so help me God.
Here's Harvey Rosenfield, the Santa Monica activist who wrote Prop 103. Harvey's pretty good at getting publicity for himself. Here's Harvey at a press conference, dumping manure. Here's Harvey at another press conference with gun-toting associates. Harvey knows how to get press, but does he know how to write an auto insurance initiative? Prop 103 lets government into the auto insurance business, and in New Jersey, that led to a $2.7 billion deficit. Vote no on Prop 103.
Books cost too much. Sherlock Holmes, stories and illustrations as they originally appeared, just $7.98. If you paid full price, you didn't buy it at Crown Books.
The Santa Monica Playhouse Fall Theater Workshop for Kids. An exciting experience which renews self-esteem and kindles motivation. Call 394-9779.
Schools. What's the problem? Tonight at 8 on Channel 2. Now, from KCBS Television in Los Angeles, Southern California's most honored news broadcast. This is Channel 2 Action News at 6.
Good evening. I'm Penny Griego.
I'm Chris Canangla. Here's what's happening at the top of our news tonight. Questions being raised about the competence of one local health care provider. At the center of the controversy, $22 million, money that one woman says was lost because of simple billing foul-ups. Channel 2's Chris Blatchford reports.
When Diane Weisberg went to work this morning at Martin Luther King Hospital, it was only to clean out her desk. She has been fired. Fired, she claims, because she blew the whistle about waste and mismanagement in the hospital's billing office.
It's a way to get rid of me. They're trying to shut up what's going on.
What's going on, according to Weisberg, is this. The hospital's billing operations 3 years ago were taken over by a private healthcare company called National Medical Enterprises, or NME. NME, charges Weisberg, failed to collect millions in potential Medi-Cal payments, then altered documents and computer systems to cover it up.
By looking at the year-end reports, found that there was approximately $22 million in discrepancy numbers that they should have collected.
In this memo, Weisberg claims county health officials were informed of what she calls severe mismanagement. She claims nothing was done.
And the answer I got was it was political, that several members of the board wanted this contract, that they wanted it to go through, and that just go back to your office.
An attorney for NME calls the charges of fraud unfounded. As a point of interest, Action News has learned NME in the last 3 years has given heavily to the election campaigns of county supervisors. Supervisor Kenny Hahn got $2,500. Supervisor Mike Antonovich, $1,000. Supervisor Dean Dana, $5,000. and Supervisor Pete Shabaram also got $5,000. Spokesmen for the individual supervisors say there is no connection between these campaign contributions and NME getting the hospital building contract. Meanwhile, Director of the County Health Services, Robert Gates, says he has directed the Department of Inspections and Audit Division to evaluate the allegations made by Mrs. Weisberg. A high-level executive on that audit committee tells Action News after several weeks of study, it appears there are problems with the King Hospital billing procedures, but nothing the county did not already know and has been dealing with. The same source tells Action News today he believes Mrs. Weisberg's charges of fraud are, in his words, extremely exaggerated.
Thank you, Chris. In other news tonight, 2 East LA sheriffs are facing misconduct allegations. A woman says they harassed and verbally abused her and 2 men one morning last August. 34-year-old Cecilia Flores told her story today at the corner where the attack allegedly occurred. She said she'd been making a phone call when the deputies ordered her and the 2 men to their patrol car using abusive language. Then, she says, they ordered the men to drop their pants and they made lewd, obscene comments to them.
This is so demoralizing because I've always been raised with the highest of values in my family to respect my authoritative figures. And now I must say that I don't feel that I have that much as respect that I used to have.
Flores says neither she nor the 2 men had committed any crime. The Sheriff's Department has refused to comment on the charges until an investigation is completed.
An armored car guard is dead tonight after he was gunned down during a bank robbery in Panorama City. The guard had just entered this Security Pacific branch on Van Nuys Boulevard when he was ambushed by a lone gunman. The robber escaped with a large amount of cash. Paramedics rushed to the bank but were unable to revive the guard. Today's robbery is the 3rd involving an armored car in the past 2 months. Witnesses described the gunman as a black man in his late 20s or early 30s, of middle height and wearing a black leather jacket. Today's fatal robbery is blamed on a single gunman, while the earlier 2 armored car holdups were the work of 2 robbers. Even so, police think the same people might be involved. And in Highland Park, a spurned lover's plot to get even with his girlfriend blew up in his face, literally. Roger Rush was apparently placing a pipe bomb in his girlfriend's car when it exploded prematurely. Despite a mangled Ard, Rush drove himself to a nearby shopping center for help. The bomb squad with its robot was soon on the scene, searching the man's car for more weapons and explosives. Inside, officers found not only another pipe bomb, but a rifle with a scope and crossbow. Rush, meanwhile, was taken to Huntington Memorial Hospital, where doctors found he was still armed with a semi-automatic pistol. The second pipe bomb was safely removed from the car. Rush is in good condition and in police custody.
A major supplier of chemicals used to make illegal drugs was raided today in Chino. The target was A&J Scientific Products on Mills Avenue. The raid was conducted by a combined task force of local and federal drug agents following a 4-month investigation. The owner of the firm, 38-year-old James Moe, was arrested and held on $10,000 bail. Authorities seized enough chemicals and equipment to produce 500 pounds of illegal methamphetamines. Authorities say Moe also supplied his customers with formulas and instructions for making the drug.
Now we have a story about young kids caught behind bars and how they're treated. Channel 2 News and the Long Beach Press-Telegram have learned exclusively that about 60 kids are kept in the Long Beach jail each month, even though they've done nothing wrong. Our Jose Sanders has more on this story.
The innocent victims, children whose parents are taken in for breaking the law. In most cases, they're turned over immediately to social services. But now some say what happens to kids of lawbreakers in Long Beach is itself a crime.
These dependents are taken from the field and just dropped in our lap, basically, in this dependence room. They call us up at the 6th floor jail, the men's jail, and they ask the supervisor for a jailer to babysit.
There are an average of 60 children a month housed here for hours at a time, waiting for relatives or social workers to claim them. Jailers say they are pulled away from regular duties to care for the children. They say it is a dangerous situation all around.
A lot of these kids that come in the dependence room are sick, ill, or injured, sometimes injured. A lot of times they're infants, and we don't have the capability of taking care of these infants.
In other neighboring cities, there are volunteers who take the dependent kids, or there are special programs to care for them. But the Long Beach police chief says there is nothing wrong with the way it's done here.
It's one of the responsibilities of the jailer. If they see one of the dependent children or anybody here that needs medical treatment, they're to call the paramedics in this building or have them transported to the hospital immediately.
Now, back in 1985, the dependent section was the subject of a court order dealing with alleged violations of children's rights. After that, the dependents were separated from juvenile offenders. But some say little else has changed since then.
It's worse. The room is smaller. The room is infested with roaches.
Clary says he and other jailers decided to go public with their complaints this week, contacting Channel 2 and the Long Beach Press-Telegram. The chief says it's all being blown out of proportion.
They would rather not take care of kids. So I think that's probably the crux of this employee's complaint.
But still, the jailers say they will keep fighting for a change in the system, fighting, they insist, for youngsters who can't fight for themselves. In Long Beach, I'm Jose Sanders, Channel 2 Action News.
Just ahead on Action News, the debate after the debate. Just who won? Both sides campaign in California. Both sides claim victory, but the polls tell a different story.
Also ahead, a look at new help for children born addicted to drugs. Stay with us.
How's married life? Great.
Chicken nachos, buffalo wings.
Thank you. So, Jill let you out tonight?
Hey, I can go out anytime she lets me.
Chicken Frisco salad.
Right here.
Baby back ribs.
Thank you.
So, how's Jill's cooking?
And beef fajitas for two.
For me, right there.
So, how was your first meal?
First meal, guys, this is my first meal.
No place else is Chili's. No place else.
Few people really understand money, how to make the most of it, how to use it effectively. To most people, money isn't funny. It's serious business. If you're concerned about your money and your family's future, ask your financial representative about the investment products of Kemper Financial Services. Because you shouldn't lose sleep worrying about your investments. Kemper, a concern for your future.
The Acura Legend sedan offers such amenities as leather-trimmed interior, sophisticated stereo system, and ergonomically designed controls. Is it any wonder people enjoy sitting in it? And with its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6, is it any wonder they enjoy standing on it? The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Accidents will happen, but when they do, make sure they happen on DuPont Certified Stainmaster Carpet. It not only cleans up like new, it's on sale at standard brands. Save $2 a yard on rich-looking Berber, only $14.99. Save $3 a yard on our best trackless Saxony. And get free installation when you buy sculptured Saxony. And no interest or payments until January '89. The great Stainmaster Carpet sale, only at standard brands.
4 members of the controversial group Ecclesia have been arrested in connection with the death of the leader's 8-year-old daughter. The group was founded 12 years ago in Watts by Eldridge Broussard Jr. Some of the members later moved to a commune in Oregon. And this morning, 8-year-old Dana Broussard was brought into a fire station in suburban Portland by members of the group. She was rushed to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. A preliminary coroner's report just issued this afternoon says the girl was kicked, whipped, and severely beaten. Her father is reportedly missing, hasn't been seen for a while, although police think he may be in Los Angeles. We don't know if he's a suspect in the case. Ecclesia, which combines religious and sports values, has been accused of being a cult.
There are just 3.5 weeks to go in the 1988 presidential campaign. For Republican George Bush and Democrat Mike Dukakis, it is the home stretch, that last big drive for the finish line. After last night's debate, the instant polls put George Bush several lengths ahead. A CBS poll says Bush won 48% to 25. The LA Times called it 47 to 26, and ABC News scores it Bush 49% to 33%. Well, today both candidates were quick to get back on the campaign trail with some new themes and tactics. In Cerritos, Bush told a cheering crowd that no state is more important than California. The vice president called himself a Teddy Roosevelt Republican, and like Roosevelt, promised to preserve the environment while preserving economic strength. Bush accused his Democratic rival of planning to raise taxes. Governor Dukakis, well, he spent the morning having breakfast with Jesse Jackson, Supervisor Kenneth Hahn, and a gathering of black community leaders. It was a sight to gladden the heart of Democrats who voted strongly for Jackson in the California primary and who worry about being taken for granted. Dukakis told the group the road ahead is going to be tough and reminded the group that it is the president who appoints justices to the Supreme Court. That was a clear reference to concerns among blacks about coming Supreme Court challenges to civil rights and anti-discrimination laws. Penny?
Our next story is truly heartbreaking. Last year, more than 1,300 drug-addicted babies were born in Los Angeles County. From the moment of their birth, these innocents are hooked on cocaine, PCP, or heroin. But Ann Curry reports for at least some of these babies, more help is on the way.
Just 4 days old, this baby boy has the shakes because his little body is withdrawing from cocaine. He is one of 45 to 50 babies born every month here at Martin Luther King Hospital who are considered medically fragile because their parents used drugs. In Los Angeles County last year, 1,336 babies were born suffering withdrawal. Martin Luther King Hospital accounted for 388 of those babies. That's 29%. Most are affected by cocaine, PCP, or heroin, and increasingly they are also infected with AIDS because of the sharing of dirty needles.
It's a sad, sad picture.
But the picture brightens some today as the mayor and little children celebrated a $425,000 federal grant that will start a new project to treat the infants. Organizers say the project will offer physical and psychological therapy for the children and counseling for the adults. There's space for 30 children to start.
As soon as we open the door, there would be 30 children, 3-4 times that number.
They hope to make a dent in a problem they say is growing and give these kids a chance in life their parents' drug use took away. Though for some of these babies, the damage is permanent. Ann Curry, Channel 2 Action News.
Coming up, will it be a World Series forecast for a baseball weekend? Kevin O'Connell is the man with the answer, and he's out and about. We'll visit with him in just a moment.
Ever notice how most shrimp dinners skimp on the shrimp? Well, shrimp lovers, you've got two options. First, order a lot of their shrimp dinners. Or try Bob's Big Boy all-you-can-eat shrimp dinner for $5.99. With either option, you never run out of crispy fried shrimp. But at Bob's, you won't run out of something else. All the shrimp you want, just $5.99.
Here are today's specials at Worthington Dodge. Look, an 87 Dodge Omni, $29.95, $59 a month. An 86 Dodge Colt, $36.95, $86 a month. 85 Dodge Daytona, $39.95, $79 a month. 85 Ford Tempo, $39.95, $79 a month. 87 Suzuki Samurai, the 4x4 Samurai, $56.95, $99 a month. We're open to midnight. Bring the family. It's Worthington Suzuki and Worthington Dodge on Beach Boulevard, Huntington Beach, and I'll see you here.
You can't get the whole picture unless you come here. Thoroughbred Racing from Oak Tree at Santa Anita. Look for money-saving coupons in Friday's paper.
Last month I had quite a scare. Had to take Beth to the hospital. They had me filling out forms up to here. Sign this, sign that, sign here, sign there. It's tough when you're worried. And all along, I knew that Medicare wouldn't cover everything. Well, when Beth came home, we made up our minds to look into health care plans. She says I'm picky. She's right, I am picky. Well, I found a plan called Secure Horizons. I pay no premiums, no deductibles. Not bad, huh?
Under contract with the federal government, Secure Horizons is a very special no-premium, no-deductible plan
just for people on Medicare. Call 1-800-544-3306 for a free information packet.
Oh, Beth is fine now, and that's the way I like it.
Both sides were finally talking today in Hollywood Strike, the sequel. Producers sat down to negotiate with Teamsters for the first time since workers walked off the job 12 days ago. No progress was reported because of a news blackout on the talks. Teamsters, meanwhile, kept the heat on, manning picket lines at all the major studios. Work rules are the major stumbling block in the dispute, we are told. The Writers and Directors Guilds threw their support behind the striking Teamsters today, but there's no word yet on whether producers have agreed to any more talks.
Well, right now the question everybody has is, are we going to have good weather for the first game of the World Series tomorrow? But you know, whenever we have a nice afternoon, leave it to Kevin O'Connell to get out of this stuffy building and go out and have some fun, right?
Somebody's got to do it, Penny. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, Chris. Well, let me answer your first question first, if you don't mind, Penny, because I know a lot of people are very anxious if they're not going to the ball game. Maybe they've got some outdoor plans this weekend. Let me put it to you this way. Don't be fooled by today. Tomorrow and Sunday are going to be considerably warmer as a Santa Ana breeze is coming our way. We are live in Arcadia at the beautiful Garden Show as the lights come back on. The Garden Show over here this weekend at the LA Arboretum. It's spectacular. Dave Bush, why don't we just take a quick look at some of the absolutely gorgeous flower arrangements, and we'll share some facts and figures. Our weather computer is down this afternoon, so I'll kind of talk you through it if you don't mind today, folks. Highest reading at the LA Civic Center today, we made it to 73. Again, tomorrow will be at least 10 degrees warmer and into the 90s by Sunday. A low of 62 degrees this morning. Currently, we have partly cloudy conditions, 67 degrees. The reason for the clouds, the humidity is still well above the 60% mark at 63%. West winds 12 miles an hour. All right, now part one of the weekend is going to be the temperature story. And tomorrow for the valleys, we'll see mid-80s, mid-70s at the beach, about 77 up in Santa Barbara. The mountains tonight are going to get down below 40. It's going to be a chilly one, no doubt about that. But tomorrow they should be in the upper 60s. Look at the low desert at 90 and the high desert at 82. Now the forecast for later on tonight, we'll go right to that right now, is that we're going to be experiencing generally clear skies. High pressure is building in from the Pacific, and that Santa Ana wind will kick in later tomorrow afternoon. We'll look for 58, the overnight low. Here's your 5-day forecast, as the temperatures again tomorrow are going to be considerably warmer than today, with a high of about 88 degrees, 92 degrees on Sunday, and then Monday will slowly start to relax as a few more clouds start coming back into the weather picture. Now, I think the main thing you want to remember over the weekend is that the winds will be kicking up between 15 and about 20 miles per hour, and that simply is going to be generating that Santa Ana wind. So all the clouds and what limited amount of moisture we had today has already moved enough to the east to give us a real nice weekend. I'm sorry, again, I don't have the satellite pictures, but trust me, it's just going to be nice and clear and real warm for the weekend. Now, if you're looking for something to do this weekend and you don't have tickets for the World Series, I might remind you that over here at the Arboretum, if you take the Baldwin Avenue exit, which is right off the 210, the LA Arboretum is just a couple of minutes away. They have a fabulous, about 3 acres full of demonstrations and also a lot of exhibits. Dave, why don't we just show the folks some of the things that are going on this weekend. They have designed things, whether you live in an apartment or you have a lot of space. Another key thing, Chris and Penny, over this weekend is they're talking about water conservation, and they're also talking about fires. So there's lots of different things, and if you come on over this weekend, you can see my friend Penelope. Pretty close, wouldn't you say, Penny?
Yeah. Hey, you know, we'd like it if you can arrange it so the wind is blowing outbound in the bottom of every inning.
Wouldn't that be nice? And then
Right.
like Kurt Gibson bat 3 or 4 times, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the gates open at 10 a.m. and the show is going to be going on all next week till the 23rd. So come on over, and I hope both of you have a real nice weekend. Stay
Same
cool.
to you. Thank you, Kevin.
Bring Penelope home for me. I liked her.
You got a deal.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, just ahead. The countdown is on to Game 1. At the ballpark today, the cry was not batter up. It was step up to the microphone. Sports is next.
You don't work for a company, you are the company. You take the risks, you get the rewards. That's why there's the corporate card with unique benefits for small business. Quarterly management reports, disability coverage, savings on hotels and air travel. Call 1-800-SUCCESS or take one. It's a business card that does things a little differently, a little better, like you. The corporate card from American Express to your success.
Forget it, Mark. This bedroom bores me.
But Cleo, I've searched the empire for treasures to please you.
I want luxury.
Quick, get thee to 3D for bedding, towels, gifts fit for a queen and so affordable.
3D bed and bath. Well, this house is finally starting to look like Rome.
It's 3D's anniversary. Fieldcrest automatic blankets start at $29.99.
Everything imaginable is affordable in 3D.
In the pizza delivery game, the Noid zaps ordinary pizza. But Domino's Pizza's best because they deliver more than all the others combined. The Noid just can't beat the best. Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Ride Ninja for less yen. Get $4 off admission to Magic Mountain when you buy any size pizza from Domino's Pizza.
The Alabama International Motor Speedway at Talladega. 3 standard production stops. It's probably pretty unlikely you'll ever need a car that can go 132 miles per hour, day and night, for 62,000 miles straight. But just in case you do, there's only one that's ever done it. The Saab 9000.
Buy or lease one of the most intelligent cars ever built at your local Saab dealers today.
Well, it will not be Hershiser pitching tomorrow, but boy, we got a pretty good arm on the mound to start.
We sure do.
Hitting.
And we're going to see plenty of Hershiser, as are the Bash brothers and the Oakland A's. As expected, Tommy Lasorda today named Tim Belcher to be his starting pitcher in Game 1 of the World Series against Oakland tomorrow against Dave Stewart. Belcher, a rookie pitcher, handed the ball to start the Fall Classic. It's a Cinderella story. It's a chance of a lifetime. It's a dream. I can't say it. Take it, Tim.
It's a dream come true.
Thanks, Tim. Belcher, who won 2 games for the Dodgers in the League Championship Series, says he'll treat this like any other start, believe it or not.
You get tunnel vision, you know, you just concentrate on your job, and all you see is the catcher and the umpire and the hitter, and you just, you know, your focal point is on what you're doing.
Typical emotional rookie, right? Veterans like Steve Sachs, on the other hand, take a more business-like approach to the series.
I'm very excited. We're all excited. Everybody knows that. This is a chance of a lifetime. Who knows if you'll ever be here again. It's a great opportunity, but I think you really have to realize that you have to play the same game, even though it may not seem that way.
It's hardly news that the Dodgers are the underdogs in this series. Many say that is the best position to be in, less pressure and all that. Well, A's manager Tony La Russa doesn't think the Dodgers should be underestimated, and neither does Tom Lasorda.
I don't think we enjoy that, no. I don't think we're enjoying it, but that's the way it has to be. I mean, when you're going to play a team that's won 108 games, and they wanted to play the best in the National League, and it wasn't the Dodgers, I mean, you got to be afraid of those guys, man. Our guys, you know, we're hoping that all of our guys will show up.
We're trying to figure out how we're going to score against them. The ERA is under 3. You know, they've just beaten what people say is the best team in baseball in a 7-game series. You know, I don't buy it. I think you come into this situation, we know how good the Dodgers are.
Hey, it seems like only yesterday the Lakers were winning back-to-back NBA titles. In fact, it was little more than yesterday. But the 2-time defending champs were back on the court last night, fast-breaking the Warriors in exhibition action. The ageless wonder, Kareem, was still taking feeds from Magic and showing he can still get off the floor at least high enough to dunk. Kareem's opposite number, Manute Bol, who had trouble driving on the state's highways during the offseason, had trouble driving the lane last night. He was forced into shots like that poor imitation sky hook. There was nothing bogus about the Lakers' performance. Byron Scott led the way with 24 as the Lakers begin the new season the way they ended the last. When you follow a team with a track record of packing up and moving in the middle of the night, it's nice to have a home away from home. That's what the Holiday Inn in Indianapolis is providing for die-hard Colt fans. That's right, gang, horseshoes all over the place. Horseshoes at the bar, horseshoes on the carpet, and of course the official Colt phone. All this for only $175 a night. How sweet it is.
Where are you likely to find these rooms?
In Holiday Inns that are adjacent to or close to other sporting facilities, NFL cities themselves.
So Baltimore doesn't have one?
Baltimore doesn't have one, no.
Ooh, that's a low blow. This just in, literally, the Rams have agreed to terms on a 1-year contract with wide receiver Ron Brown. Remember, he quit the Rams to try out once again for the Olympics, which he failed to do, but he's back playing football. Yes?
And in all this swirl, let it not go without notice that the Kings are off to a perfect season.
Yes, and only in this town would someone like Wayne Gretzky be overshadowed for the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
All right.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Today it seems young parents have less time and a lot more to worry about.
If I were a young father today, I'd want to know that my government wasn't blind to the changes in my life. I'd want my new president to be in touch with the things that are important to me and to my family. That's not a Democratic concern. It's not a Republican concern. That's a father's concern.
There are a lot of propositions on the November ballot. How do we sort them out? Well, for one thing, Prop P means police. Up to $120 million for new police, paid for with earmarked royalties from the Palisades Inland Energy Project. That's new police without new taxes. Prop P means new police to fight drugs, new police to crack down on gangs, new police when our city desperately needs them. Vote yes on new police. Yes on Prop P.
Now, when you buy a pair of prescription lenses at our regular price, you can get something fashionable to keep them in at a sale price. The optical department at Montgomery Ward.
When you really need it by tomorrow, Express Tailoring at C&R.
Great, Ray. That's a wrap.
Huh?
California sunshine. California sunshine. Whoa, the grapevine. Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine.
That's sweet.
October is AIDS Awareness Month in LA County, and these healthcare providers have just one comment.
AIDS, let's face it, LA.
Finally tonight, a reminder about a very special program on one of our most pressing issues today, education. It's called Save Our Schools. It's 2 hours of primetime TV devoted to examining the status of our schools today and what can be done to make them better. Our town meeting, hosted by Action News anchor Jim Lampley, begins tonight at 8 o'clock right here on Channel 2. And it will be followed by the return of Charles Kuralt, who's on the road again. It all begins tonight at 8 o'clock again, right here on Channel 2. And that's our news for tonight. Action News at 6 o'clock. Stay tuned for CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
We'll leave you now with the Dream Team. The Los Angeles Dodgers now on their way to the World Series after an incredible playoff with the Mets. Enjoy with us. Have a good night.
Good night.